Because of the Lord's great love, we are not consumed, for his compassions never fail. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. I say to myself, the Lord is my portion, therefore I will wait for him. Lamentations chapter 3, verses 22 to 24. Good morning, esteemed dignitaries, honorable guests, and other respected viewers for today. COVID-19 times have taught us tales of immeasurable courage and convictions. Amidst the ongoing global crisis caused by COVID-19 pandemic, digital education is set to be extremely transformative. Digitalization has cleared the boundaries of physical distance as well as embedded more scientific ways to impart knowledge from tutors to the students. The present crisis has come with a silver lining, which has moved the education sector to imbibe these new norms of improvised technology. The digital paradigm shift has amalgamated barriers and unleashed the challenges beyond our imagination. The topic for today's event, Marthavadoshi's International Online Inter-School Elocution Competition, is COVID-19 crisis with an imbibed silver lining has naturally propelled a paradigm shift towards acceptance of digital education as the new normal. This is a positive outcry for tremendous optimism in times of direst circumstances. Mar Gregorios Secondary School, Christian as MGM by the people of Bhilai, was established in 1965 by the members of MGM Cathedral. It is one of the premier and first co-educational private schools in Bhilai Township. This school is founded in the name of canonized saint of Malankara Orthodox Syrian Church, late Mar Gregorios of Varimala, Kerala, who pioneered the cause of education in the rural areas of Kerala. The school satisfies the need of all the people in and around Bhilai Township to specially educate their underprivileged children with its secular approach in a holistic way. The school is proud to have its established alumni having this diaspora scattered all over the world. It's a mark of our tradition to invoke the Almighty at the beginning of an important event. The function of prayer is not to influence God, but rather to change the nature of the one who prays. I would like to call Anamika Sarkar of Standard 11 for the school prayer, and I will also request all of you to stand for the same.
Father, we thank thee for the night and for the pleasant morning light, for rest and food and loving care, and all that make the day so fair. Help us to do the things we should, to be to others kind and good. In all we do at work or play, to grow more loving every day.
Thank you. We are very much blessed with the prayer. It's my pleasure to extend a cheerful welcome to you all. Your presence makes us very happy. Today, indeed, we are blessed with the presence of our chief guest, Honorable His Holiness Moran Mar Basilios Marthoma Paulos II, Supreme Head of Orthodox Church, Catholicos of East and Malankara Metropolitan. We are very much blessed with the presence of His Holiness. On behalf of the MGM family, we welcome His Holiness to the virtual elocution competition. Next, I acknowledge the presence of our Manager Bishop, His Grace, Dr. Joseph Mar Dionysius, who is always with the MGM family. We welcome His Grace to the competition. We'd like to extend a special welcome to our Vice President, Very Reverend Thomas Ramban, and Very Reverend G. Varghese Ramban, Administrator, St. Thomas College, Rubabandha. We extend a heartiest welcome to all the respected priests of Calcutta Diocese. It's my proud privilege to welcome the honorable jury members, Mr. Thomas Walker, Sir, from Canada, Professor Roland Gamini Sirsinge from Malaysia, Madam Annie Matthew from India, Madam Georgia Meneta from Greece, Madam Rachel Sakria from USA. MGM family is very happy to welcome Assistant Vicar Reverend Father Shinu Cherian, Honorable Correspondent Mr. Prince M.A., Church and School Managing Committee members to this virtual mode of competition. A great philosopher has quoted, "The secret to success is good leadership, and good leadership is all about making the lives of your team members better." That's our principal, sir, Professor Dr. D.D. Targan, who is always with us at every step. On behalf of the MGM family, we welcome you, sir. Our shift in charges plays a very important role in the planning of the functions. MGM family welcomes Madam Anita Rajan, Madam Beena Matthew, and Madam S. Gina to this function. Last but not the least, I welcome all the participants, staff of MGM, parents to this mode of competition. Shubham Karoti Kalyanam Arogyam Dhan Sampada Shatruvidhi Vinashai Divya Jyoti Namostute, which means salutation to the light of lamp, which brings auspiciousness, health, and prosperity. I request our principal, sir, to escort our vice president and other dignitaries to kindle the lamp and garland the portrait of our founder manager bishop, late lamented His Grace Dr. Stephanos Martirosius. Please, sir. of Indian classical dance. That Bharatanatyam is a major form of Indian classical dance that originated in Tamil Nadu and the oldest classical dance tradition in India, presenting Bharatanatyam by Vishita Chakravarti. Thank you, Bishita. Hope you all enjoyed the classical dance of India. Now, we have a small presentation of MGM Senior Secondary School.
Mar Gregorius Memorial Senior Secondary School, christened as MGM by the people of Bhilai, was established as first co-educational private school in 1965 in Bhilai Township. The school is founded in the name of the glorified saint of the Malankara Orthodox Syrian Church, late Mar Gregorius of Parumala, Kerala, who pioneered the cause of education in the rural areas of Kerala and later in Chhattisgarh. The school provides the best education in a holistic way in and around Bhilai for the overall development of students.
I take this opportunity in inaugurating this
Marthodosius Memorial e-portal was inaugurated by our manager bishop, His Grace Joseph Mar Dionysius, and Teachers' Day was the first event celebrated on 7th September 2020 virtually.
Of this support is actually seen in the several reforms that have.
We have various programs conducted with the help of e-portal. Mondays are reserved with the talk show under the title Icons of Inspirations. The resource persons were the alumni and the famous personalities in the different fields like economy, medicals, business, etc. Atal Innovation Mission Background Niti Ayog's flagship program Atal Innovation Mission, including ATL, self-employment and talent utilization, is Government of India's endeavor to promote a culture of innovation and entrepreneurship. This year, we have also started Atal Tinkering Lab in the school campus. Amidst the worldwide pandemic of COVID-19, a plethora of events were organized by our school in virtual mode. The investiture ceremony, CG Foundation Day, Constitution Day, Gandhi Jayanti, Diwali celebration, Christmas celebrations were conducted. It was an overwhelming experience as the students participated with full vigor and vitality. With an aim to enhance the creativity of students, various competitions were organized in the school. The online intra-school debate competition were organized for both primary and senior wing classes. We have another set of elocution competition in association with NSPCL. Inter-school elocution was conducted and we were the winner. For the online MGM Fest, many students from sister MGM institutions across the country participated. There was a cutthroat competition among the students. It was a pride moment for us as MGM Senior Secondary School, Sector 6, Bhilai, bagged the trophy. MGM as a team has managed to create a nick of its own with numerous activities. Even amidst the difficult times, we managed to venture into avenues untrodden and unthought of. The digitalization that came into play in our lives made us more adept and cleared with unknown boundaries.
Thanks for the presentation. Our principal sir, Professor Dr. B.D. Tharagan, basically a teacher for the newly introduced artificial intelligence in the school. Sir has rich experience not only in teaching the students, but also in training the teachers. Apart from producing PhD and MTech students, Sir's acumen and insights in academics and academic administration through systems approach in helping the school to fare better and be a trendsetter among the contemporaries. Now the school has a clear roadmap to achieve this envisaged mission and vision. Now I request our principal sir to address the gathering. Please, sir.
Very respected His Holiness Muhammad Basilius Marthoma Province II, Supreme Head of Indian Orthodox Church and Catholicos. Very respected our Manager Bishop, Dr. Joseph Mar Dionysius Tirumeni. Very respected Vice President Thomas Shambho. Respected Assistant Vicar of the Church. Esteemed international panel of judges, Sir Tom H. Walker from Canada, Professor Dr. Ronald from Malaysia, Mrs. Annie John Matthew from Delhi, India, Mrs. Georgia Maneta from Greece, Ms. Rachel Zakaria from USA. Respected Honorable Correspondent, Honorable School Committee members, Honorable Church Committee members, respected all parish members of the line, principals, teachers, participants from various international and national schools, esteemed alumni, well-wishers, dear parents of the school, the shift in charges, the respected teaching and non-teaching staff of the school, and my dear students. I hope I haven't missed anyone. With all sincerity, on behalf of MGM School Bhilai, I bow my head to two great saints. One, our own patron bishop, Mar Gregorius Ceremony of Parimala, and our founder bishop, late lamented His Grace Stephanos Mar Theodosius Ceremony. Celebrate what you accomplish, but raise the bar each time you succeed. What started in a small way with online classes in WhatsApp, I am very glad to announce that we are successfully running 140 classrooms in parallel, starting from nursery to class 12. This has only happened because the team has adapted to the new change, adapted to the new normal by embracing technology, the information and communication technology, the need of the hour. And the beauty of the thing is, every time something is done, the ideas come within and we have new innovations. When we were more or less stabilized with the conventional online classes, we thought we could do much better, and we explored into co-curricular and extracurricular activities. And that journey went on, and that's where you have seen in the initial presentation, we have an organized e-portal. When we speak of this particular event also, this is not an overnight planning. This has happened with a lot of preparations. We had elocution competitions at school level, then at district level, and now the team was very confident that we could go in for international level. Some 23 odd schools from national and international level, esteemed panel of judges from international level is another feather to this whole event. This could only happen because of the dedicated team of MGM, which is not only serving the students of the school, but as we have envisioned, as it is written in our vision and mission statement, we are the trendsetters for the schools in this region as well as in the country. We have also sent report to the Prime Minister's office. You have just seen that we are continuously, in an effective way, in a focused way, we are collaborating with our established academies. We are exposing our students. We are creating platforms and opportunities for our students to interact with such established academies. And this particular event is not just an elocution for the sake of a competition. It has many more tangible and intangible things. I'm glad to tell you that Our participants are our 6,500 students also. They are also presently undergoing a learning exercise, watching this whole event. As teachers, that is also very much heartening to us. They will be assimilating from the proceedings of this elocution. They will be comprehending the salient points and they'll be making notes out of it. Those comments will be posted in their respective classrooms. So that is what. So every opportunity we are trying to utilize in the best interest of the student, and that is why we exist as a school. So this could only happen because the dedicated team with minimal supervision, although I might have been given a lot of appreciations and all, but I give the total credit to the team because of their voluntary initiative. We are able to do things very effortlessly. So this great team has great potential, and I'm sure that one day we would become one of the best institutes in the real manner. So we are getting there, and our journey is going on, and by default, we are also preparing ourselves for the NEP 2020 and also national and international accreditation. So with that, I once again thank the management, our manager Bishop, our vice president, our management team headed by honorable correspondent, and the society behind the whole school for giving us unconditional support to make this school one of the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. We now have an address by the Vice President of MGM School, Bhilai, Very Reverend Thomas Ramban. Please, Father.
Very good morning, one and all. The most respected His Holiness Moran Mar Basilius Paulo II, Catholicos and the Malankara Metropolitan Indian Orthodox Church, the most respected Dr. Joseph Mar Dionysius Metropolitan Calcutta Diocese and Manager Bishop of this institution, respected judges, respected Principal Dr. Baiju Taragan, Honorable Correspondent Prince M.A., the Managing Committee members, and the beloved teachers, respected Shinivachan, the Assistant Vicar of the NGO Cathedral, and the participants of the various international and national schools, and my dear children. So I'm very happy to participate in this international level debate competition. How debate competition is useful for the students in the school. The communication is a fundamental need for the human being to sustain in the world. Having good communicating skill plays a major role in developing all over the personality or to make a person successful. The debate is a discussions on the subject on which the children to get involved and participate in the debates. This is competition help them to develop self-expression. Debate competition for the students is a very influential as to help them to boost their confidence, to remove the fear of the speaking in public, develop certain things, how to think and communicate under the pressure. The students as a part of debate experience considerable and advantage whether they are the part of the school debate team or they debate and the members of the social and the political club. The main aspiration of the being the part of the debate is to convey yourself and the conscious way to show that people around and the understanding your point of view and your thought process, but it should be done with using logic and this convincing and effective. So this is the importance of debate can be essentially, if you focus on that benefit, the participating and the debate, the build-up in the confidence of the students, it to speak to the people being useful, they have got the through the arrangement in their life. Having the clear mindset is very essential because it enables moderates your think capacity. Either operating into the participate and debate competition in the growing in the day-to-day, the children can be take the part of the different level. So I congratulate and my appreciation to the principal Dr. Baiju Taragan and his team is a very marvelous work. Yes, affording this is the successful this program. So this is a milestone of the MGM Senior Secondary School. Not only MGM Senior Secondary School, but also the Diocese of Calcutta. So I convey my good wishes. All the participants, wish you all the best. May Almighty God bless you in all of you. Thank you, Jaya.
Thank you, Father. Thomas H. Walker, who is from Canada, one of our honorable judges, is a versatile person who is yet to retire at the age of 90, an aeronautical engineer who worked for the development of Concorde and having rich experience as human resource manager working for IBM in Melbourne. Presently, he is working for the Shalom School Ministry. We all would like to hear a few words from you, sir. Please, sir.
Thank you. It is truly a privilege to be part of this program because I believe that at the heart of it all, there is a desire for achievement, a desire to do one's best, and I believe underneath it all, there is a respect for Almighty God and a desire to make the world a better place. We're living in times which are very challenging. I lived through the Second World War. I think these times may prove to be even more challenging than that. How we come out of it all will be partly our beliefs, our expressions that make a difference, our passions that try and express the urge of the human heart for a better world. So I wish all the contestants, my fellow judges, and all who are participating in this great event, the blessing of God and success in making things for all these participants a meaningful and growth experience. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your motivational words.
Thank you.
Always put your trust in God. Tell Him all your problems. God is our place of safety. Dr. Joseph Mar Dionysius, Metropolitan of Kolkata Diocese, Director of Bhilai St. Thomas Mission and Manager Bishop of MGM Group of Educational Institutions. His Grace is an renowned educationist and also a research guide in Science Faculty of Kerala University. It is an honor to have Tirumeni amongst us and receive blessings and words of wisdom from His Grace.
Very warm welcome to each and everybody. Glory to the Almighty God forever and ever. Amen. His Holiness Moranmar Basilios Marthoma Paulus II, the Supreme Head of Indian Orthodox Church and Catholicos, and today is our chief guest of the program, Very Reverend Thomas Ramban, the Vicar of MGO Cathedral and Vice President of MGM Senior Secondary School, Mr. Prince, the Honorable Correspondent of the school, School Managing Committee members, Professor Dr. B.D. Tharagan, the respected principal of the school, the galaxy of international panel of judges, Mr. Thomas H. Walker, Professor Roland, Mrs. Annie, Mrs. Georgia, Mrs. Rachel, respected teaching and non-teaching staff members, my dear beloved students, and the multi-level participants from various regions, we are extremely happy to be with you on this solemn occasion. Today, under the auspice of MGM Senior Secondary School, Bhilai, Chhattisgarh State, India, an international inter-school online elocution competition is being held in commemoration of the founder Bishop of MGM School, Dr. Stephanos Mar Theodosius, Metropolitan. Being the present manager of MGM School, we are happy having the privilege of welcoming all the guests from a national and international dimension and addressing the auspicious gathering. First of all, I bow my head before Almighty God for all His graces in organizing an international program for our school students in this corona pandemic period. I also pay homage before two saintly bishops of Indian Orthodox churches. Saint Gregorius of Parimala is the great spiritual resource, and the school is named after this saintly soul. Dr. Stephanos Mar Theodosius is my predecessor in the Diocese of Kolkata, a well-known visionary bishop of North India with a missionary zealous, especially in the field of education. We are all lucky and fortunate in having the Catholicos, His Holiness Moranmar Basilios Marthoma Paulus II, the supreme head of Indian Orthodox Church, we adorn our respects at the foot of our church primate. Corona period, as you all know, though seems to be negative and detrimental throughout the world, damage the all humanity and all humans' life activities. It creates in humans some positive attitudes and strategies also to resist any situations at hand. One among many is in the field of education to develop alternative methodology for inseminating and sharing knowledge and to educate the young generation for future viability online. Our school, MGM Senior Secondary School, is also succeeded fully in this sort of media online to educate our children, for which our congratulations and appreciation are deserving to the entire school management, especially for the head, the principal, for his commitment and hard work, and also along with the staff of the school. Through this program, Mar Theodosius Memorial International Online Inter-School Elocution Competition, our students are getting an international stage and opening. It is a commendable, great thing in students' life. Our humble congratulations, blessings and prayers to each and everybody behind the successful materialization of this international program. May God bless you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tirumeni. Catholicos of the East and Malankara Metropolitan. His Holiness Moran Mar Baselios Marthoma Paulos II is the second supreme head of the Malankara Church. His Holiness was enthroned as the Catholicos of the East on November 1st, 2010. We now have an address by His Holiness Moran Mar Baselios Marthoma Paulos II, but before that, I request our Principal Sir to give some information as a prelude.
His instruction received from the head office of Baba Tirumeni, I am required to inform the august gathering that Baba Tirumeni was appraised about the various achievements of the school and the progressive path it is into towards the envisaged goal. Baba Tirumeni is very glad that we are having this event in the name of our founder bishop, late lamented Dr. Stephanos Mar Theodosius Tirumeni. So Baba Tirumeni has given all best wishes for this collaborative learning fellowship. Thank you very much.
Glory be to the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, one true God. We take this opportunity to extend our heartfelt greetings and blessings to all in MGM Higher Secondary School, Bhilai. As all of you know that this is the joyous season of Christmas. It is true that our moments are restricted because of the pandemic, but this has taught us to adopt a different way of life. We believe that the peace and happiness of the blessed season can prevail. In this context, we are happy to learn that the MGM school is organizing an elocution over the virtual platform. We earnestly wish the management, teaching and non-teaching staff and students all good wishes, prayers and blessings. May you have a blessed Christmas and New Year full of blessings.
One of the 8 major forms of Indian classical dance. The origin of Kathak is traditionally attributed to the traveling bards of ancient northern India, known as Kathakars or storytellers. Now we have a scintillating performance by one of our students, Avinash Kaur.
Thank you, Avinash. A flower does not think of competing to the flower next to it. It just blooms. With this thought, we are proceeding to start our competition. The topic for the Mark Theodosius Memorial International Online Interschool Elocution Competition is COVID-19 Crisis with an imbibed silver lining has naturally propelled a paradigm shift towards acceptance of digital education as the new normal. To start with the honorary jury members, we have in the panel of judges Sir Thomas H. Walker from Canada, Professor Roland Gemini Sirisenge from Malaysia, Madam Annie John Matthew from India, Madam Georgia Meneta from Greece, Madam Rachel Sakria from United States of America. We have 23 participants competing for this competition. Indian School Al Gubra Muscat from Sultanate of Oman, MGM Higher Secondary School Bokaro, Jharkhand from India, MGM Senior Secondary School Bhilai, Chhattisgarh from India, Credence High School Al Quds Dubai from UAE, MGM Higher Secondary School Hatital, Jabalpur, MP from India, the Rajas International School, Kottayam, Kerala from India, Paramount Public School, Pokhara from Nepal, Good Shepherd Public School, Chagnasheri, Kerala from India, Penridge South Middle School, Pennsylvania, USA, Mar Basilios Vidya Bhavan, Bhilai, Chhattisgarh from India, the Millennium School, Dubai from UAE, Fahil Al Vetna Indian Private School, Kuwait, Rolling Hills Middle School, El Dorado Hills from California, USA, Delhi Public School, Bhilai, Chhattisgarh from India, MGM English School, Rourkela, Odisha from India, Sai International School, Bhubaneswar, Odisha from India, Falsom Middle School, Folsom, California from USA, Amity International School, Ghaziabad, UP from India, Syrian Jacobite Public School, Tiruvalla, Kerala from India, Delhi Private School, Dubai from UAE, Kulni Convent, Jalhali, Bangalore, Karnataka from India, Swami Vivekanand High School in Chembur, Maharashtra from India, Bhopal, MP from India. These are the participants for this competition. The rules for this competition is each participant will get 3 minutes to speak. The panel of judges will judge the competition on various parameters: subject matter relevance, original thought and idea, delivery, use of grammar and vocabulary, preparation, and the effort. The decision of the judges will be final. So hope all the judges are ready. We can start with the competition. So now I call upon contestant number 1 to express his views on this topic.
It is not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent. It is the one most adaptable to change. Charles Darwin. Greetings to one and all. A pandemic that left mankind in dismay. 2020 was certainly a year that we would all like to forget. A crisis within a world largely in crisis. Not quite the fairy tale we imagined for the year. Countries across the world went into lockdowns as people wondered, what next? One significant implication of all this was the effect on education systems. The COVID-19 crisis has irrefutably changed education forever. Globally, over 1.2 billion children were out of the classroom. What served as a beacon of light in these unprecedented times might well be the big evolution of the 21st century, an era of digital education. What Isaac Asimov thought of around 70 years ago is turning into reality today. We are moving into a world governed by technology, and it would be oblivious of one to disagree with this shift. Online schooling is merely the first step in that direction. It served as the solitary substitute for traditional schools and might turn out to be the new normal for a long time now. Why do I say so? Well, online schooling has shown massive positive effects on a student's holistic development, which is, after all, our collective aim. Students are able to learn at their own pace. They are creating schedules for themselves. They have more time at their disposal. And all this ultimately makes them responsible and independent learners. As somebody with first-hand experience in this, I believe that online schooling is the tomorrow of education. Perhaps it's the fact that I'm making my own notes in every subject that makes me enjoy it, or that I can take my math class in PJs. Whatever the reason, I for one believe that students have cherished these times thoroughly. I have more free time and it's allowed me to build on my college application, discover new hobbies, and catch up on some sleep. Online schooling is the now and tomorrow of education. Yes, it might be a massive change for us, but change is, after all, the only constant in our lives. In the words of Anand Agarwal, online education is like a rising tide. It is going to lift all boats. Thank you.
Now we have contestant number 2.
It is often in the darkest skies that we see the brightest stars. Greetings to one and all. COVID-19 crisis with an imbibed silver lining has naturally propelled a paradigm shift towards the acceptance of digital education as the new normal. Digital education. Whenever I encounter these words, I get reminded of one of the masterpieces of Sir Isaac Asimov, titled The Fun They Had, where he let his readers into his idea of what the world would be like a century or two later. Kudos to the writer extraordinaire for his anticipation of a world where students plant themselves in front of a screen in a hushed corner of the board for hours to glean knowledge has almost come true. Even though the reason that compels us to embrace this mode is unfortunate and grievous, I believe it is a cue for a change. A cue for us to remember the great words of Sir George Bernard Shaw. Progress is impossible without change. Everything was going well and fine. We went to school, we met our friends, our compeers. We met our teachers. We learned, we played, we were free. But then, COVID-19 intruded our world. We had to bar ourselves within our own houses, and with the closure of schools and extension in lockdown, the parents began to dread the prospect of the devastation of their ward's academics. And there appeared digital education like an anchor to hold. Almost all the educational institutions started imparting education online. But the requirements for availing the education were not so easy to come by for all the students. Not everybody could afford a smartphone. And even if they somehow managed to buy one, the data and electricity requirements were hard to meet. Computer illiteracy still stands as another bludgeoning. All these problems made digital education appear more like a flame in the wind. I think instead of complaining and considering these problems as the reasons to drop the idea of digital education, we should work out the solutions and embrace it. It may take some time for everybody to ensconce themselves in this mode, but if we constantly keep noting the problems and working on them, we'll soon be accustomed to this mode as we are now to classroom education. And maybe a day will come when we'll confidently be able to replace classrooms and schools with a digital mode completely. Just like in Sir Isaac Asimov's story. Let's welcome technology to the world of education. Thank you.
Next, we call upon contestant number 4 to express his views.
The only constant in life is change. Accepting and adapting to change is what creates a winner. Education in today's world has undergone a dramatic transformation from the internet being used as a support mechanism to being the key delivery system. Educational institutions and educators have been able to adapt so well that education is streamlined and almost as frictionless. Climatic conditions or absence of transport facilities is no more a reason to miss school. Attending is as simple as opening up your computer or tablet. 1.85 million lives have been lost due to this pandemic. COVID-19 has not been easy on any of us. This includes our family, our friends, our loved ones. That we are in the midst of a crisis is well understood. But our educators proved otherwise. The depth and width of our teachers' sacrifice has never been measured, but the pandemic truly expressed the sacrifice our teachers had to make handling the new change. COVID-19 proved not to be an obstacle, but rather a stepping stone to a new era of learning. Online education provides students with the chance to network with peers across nations or even different continents, thereby making them culturally sensitive. The curriculum now has been designed to be coherent with the progression of the various elements of this pandemic. Now, Educators Campus is no more the school building and related physical infrastructure, but the entire world. India achieved 100% of electrification of villages in rural areas on 28 April 2018. However, education for the students in areas such as Arunachal or Mizoram were still far-fetched due to the treacherous condition of their roads, meant students were missing almost 70% of yearly school time, which eventually meant they had to take up child labor to fend for them. Due to the shift to digital learning, the internet, which was then a privilege, has now become a necessity. COVID-19 has not just accepted digital education as the new normal, but rather caused a revolution in the field of education.
Yes, this was contestant number 4 who has finished her speech. Now it's the turn of contestant number 5 to express the views.
A tide in the ocean is caused by the gravitational pull of the sun and the moon. Similarly, online learning is a tide which is caused by the drastic pull of the COVID-19 and the lockdown. It is a rising tide, a big one, and it's going to lift all the boats. Good morning, Honorable Principal Ma'am, respected judges, dedicated teachers, determined competitors, and most importantly, my dear spectators. The key aspect of coping with COVID-19 is to ensure that the services are being delivered to whatever extent possible. While for professionals across industry, it has been a very easier transition, as many of them work on their laptops and smart devices even in offices. They can simply plug in at home now. Of course, what is missing is face-to-face personal communication, which will get restored as when the things are back to normal, or to be more precise, with the new normal. But students have had to make far bigger adjustment, as learning has always been in classrooms, which they cannot go now. According to a survey, 157 crore students across 191 countries are severely impacted by the closure of educational institutions. In India only, over 32 crore students got hit by COVID-19. The lockdown accelerated the adoption of digital education. Online learning solutions have been forced to work in tandem and improve in quality and delivery time to handle such situations. This is the ideal time to experiment and deploy new tools to make education delivery meaningful. Through this crisis, the teachers and students have got a chance to be more efficient and productive while developing new and improved professional skills or knowledge through online learning and assessment. George Couros, the author of Innovators' Mindsets, once said, "Technology will never replace great teachers, but technology in the hands of great teachers can be transformational." A few of the initiatives were started during the lockdown, like Swayam online courses for teachers, electronic PG Pathshala, or electronic contents containing modules on social science, arts, fine arts, CEC, UCG YouTube channel, and many other noteworthy initiatives have been taken up for digital education. For all this to be a reality, a drastic change in thought process is required in the mindset of the policymakers, authorities, students, and especially educationists. Faculty selection should be gradually linked to technology friendliness and keenness for technology adoption. Similarly, accreditation parameters and criteria needs consideration, and all these steps will help to strengthen the country's digital learning infrastructure in the long run of COVID-19. As people nowadays are saying, digital education is the key to unlocking the world, a passport to freedom and a ticket to explore this revolutionizing the world. Thank you.
Next, I call upon contestant number 6.
Good morning to one and all. 2020 has seen the world plunge into darkness with the emergence of COVID-19, a disease caused by the novel coronavirus, one of the greatest challenges our generation has ever faced. The damage it has done to humanity, the fall of economy, loss of jobs, poverty, etc. Yes, and it also had a staggering impact on our education system. As per the World Economic Forum, over 1.2 billion children in 186 countries were out of the classroom. Many schools, colleges, and universities had to close down to prevent the spreading of the virus. How has our education system reacted to COVID-19, and what will be the ensuing challenges they may face? What will be the future of our children? It has actually taught us multiple lessons, the most important one being how the education system needs to be enhanced to be able to better prepare and plan our systems and learners for what the future might hold. Thus, due to the significant requirement, our education system has transformed from a traditional classroom method to a digital learning platform with the use of laptops and mobile phones. As we all know, technology has always been changing over the course of time, making tasks easier for mankind. New ways have been introduced in learning subjects such as visual representations, online tests, smart class interactions, etc. From my point of view, digital learning for students as the new normal is welcomed by many, although there are a few cons which make it not so reliable and adaptable. The positive side is commendable. Children indeed learn a lot in the comfort of their homes, which make them much more independent. It also increases their thinking, creativity, and self-building skills. The proficiency of both teachers and students improves simultaneously during the classes, communicating the message in a consistent way. However, looking at the negative effects, we can see that there are a few flaws. One main drawback of e-learning is the excessive usage of devices, which has caused a great concern amongst parents as it resulted in many health issues in their children. Students also struggle without reliable internet access, or they are unable to procure the relevant devices due to its high pricing. Moreover, distant learning weakens social relations. But as we believe, to every problem there will always be a solution. E-learning is not just a change in technology, it is part of a redefinition of how we human beings transmit knowledge, values, and skills to our younger generation. I definitely think e-learning is an appreciable way of learning and is the way forward during such a crisis if we have a strong e-learning education strategy in place. Thank you.
Next, we have contestant number 7.
We are passing through an obnoxious phase of a worldwide crisis with the onset of COVID-19 pandemic, possibly the worst of the present century. The pandemic has adversely affected the worldwide formal education system, leading to the near total closure of schools, colleges, and universities. As physical distance has become the most important safety factor, it is only in the digital space that social interaction is now possible. Information technology, therefore, enables us to access this digital space. Nevertheless, the global lockdown has helped to emphasize the value and necessity of the online education in the global academic debate with vigor as never before. The reference of digital education is not just limited to the online classes and digital interaction with the teachers, but also the knowledge that can be acquired through the Google, Kindle, Wikipedia, and many more. Firstly, the pandemic has not drastically affected the formal education part of the developed countries in comparison to the developing and underdeveloped countries, as digital education has not been superficially pragmatic in the later ones. For instance, in the countries like ours, students were unable to continue their classes for almost nearly 6 months due to the lack of electronic devices and internet service, which were slow and expensive. Secondly, many students are unorthodox with the electronic devices and applications like Zoom, Google Classroom, Google Meet, and many more that help to conduct the online classes and access the document within themselves. Teachers are also not contact for the online interactions with the students and not comfortable in front of the camera individually. A slow internet connection, low student participation, reduce the motivation for both learning and teaching in the class. But still, online education, mainly the internet-based platform, virtual classes are turning out to be the best alternative in comparison to the other several remote forms of learning methods. Nobody knows when the lockdown will end, and Spirit of Age says that time is money and nobody wants to lose time. Hence, in conclusion, I believe the COVID-19 crisis, imbibed with silver lining, has naturally propelled a paradigm shift towards the acceptance of digital education as a new normal.
Next, we have contestant number 8.
Necessity is the mother of invention. This is a universally accepted adage. Let us analyze this in the context of COVID-19. Honorable panel of judges, good morning. The topic for today's elocution is COVID-19 crisis with an imbibed silver lining has naturally propelled a paradigm shift towards acceptance of digital education as the new normal. When did the crisis begin? It originated in Wuhan, China in December 2019. However, WHO declared it as a pandemic only after 118,000 cases from 114 countries were reported COVID positive and 4,291 reported dead, which eventually turned out to be a war-like scenario. But unlike other wars, the whole world stood as one nation to fight this invisible enemy, uniting all the medical and paramedical staff along with the health workers who risked their lives like soldiers in the war front. According to Dr. Tedros, Director General of WHO, the virus will be with us for a long time. The world cannot go back to the way things were. There must be a new normal. Wearing masks, gloves, sanitization, and social distancing have all become a new normal. The pandemic, COVID-19, has given us an opportunity to unlearn our old practices and follow the new. Digital India, an initiative by the central government, has provided a perfect platform for our day-to-day business. Shopping, consultations, classes, banking, every single aspect are now being digitalized. Taking up the education sector to function normally was indeed a major challenge. Teachers initially found it hard due to non-availability of hardware, network issues, and power disruptions. But with proper training and consistent practice, virtual classes too became a new normal. As parents were also observing the classes, it became all the more challenging for the teachers, and so they were in constant pursuit of excellence. Homeschooling has thus become essential for a world that is healthier and safer. Virtual platform offers self-employment opportunities at an affordable cost. This will certainly revolutionize the education sector and provide a cost-effective education. It is not just a stopgap, but a viable alternative to traditional real-time classes. As mentioned by Dr. Tedros, there must be a new normal, which is none other than the acceptance of digital education. Thank you.
Let's see what contestant number 9 has to say. Now I call upon contestant number 9.
Of Penridge South Middle School in the state of Pennsylvania, USA. I think that the topic given to me, I understand the topic given to me is a discussion of the COVID-19 pandemic and its impact towards acceptance of online school as a new normal. I think online school is both a great and is quite a challenge to this generation. Personally, it gives me the safety of staying at home and waking up right in time. Paying attention throughout classes are quite difficult because there are a lot of distractions. Another advantage is to eat any food or snack I want while I'm in a Zoom meeting. Well, I do miss sitting in the cafeteria with my friends. Travel time can also be avoided, not to even talk about standing at the bus stop, especially when there is a winter storm. I know that some people do not have great internet usage. However, I see that this trend is changing. More and more households are investing in a good internet connection. In the near future, I am also seeing this option for part-time study courses, where I as a student would prefer to work for a living, yet keep up with studies. The new normal has opened up possibilities to full-time employees to earn higher degrees. Another aspect that comes to relevance is the reduction of wasting paper, which is used to customize test books. With online school, online assessments submission is possible in just a few minutes. Now I do note that my cooking class could be made while some online courses offer tuition guidance and online message boards. It fails to compare to a real world learning environment. I'm grateful that we have a hybrid model where I can switch over in between person or in between person or online learning. Of course, there are only limited seats when it comes to in-person option. With that, I would like to conclude my discussion on the topic.
Now I call upon contestant number 10.
Once I heard an interesting quote which said, "There is nothing permanent except change." In this unprecedented lockdown period, the current education system is undergoing its biggest shift ever, turning classrooms into online spaces and teachers into virtual educators. with this rapidly evolving situation around the pandemic, has this forced shift from offline to online given us a peek into the reality ahead? How will COVID-19 transform the future of teaching and learning? The questions are many. The answer still awaits. COVID-19 has forced almost all educational institutes to close their doors and accept online education as the new normal. The new paradigm shift in education has not only narrowed down the equality gaps but also introduced new solutions in education and innovation in this sector. Pedagogy in digital education is an important link between course content, technology, educators, and of course the course takers. Democratization of technology is now an important issue comprising of internet connectivity, telecom infrastructure, educational tools, availability of laptop, PCs, and a lot more. These changes have certainly caused a degree of inconvenience, but as Arnold Bennett said, every change, even for the better, is always accompanied by discomfort. The challenges are there, but they are only temporary challenges. Online education will flourish. COVID-19 has only accelerated the adaptation of technology in delivering education. Going forward, a drastic change in the mindset of policymakers, authorities, students, and especially the educationists is required. Then only we will succeed in strengthening our country's digital learning infrastructure in the long run. Thank you.
I call upon contestant number 11.
Greetings, everyone. As we all know, 2020 has been a very interesting year, full of surprises. It's similar to a Jack in the Box, ripped straight out of a B-rated horror flick. While the pandemic has forced people to limit contact as a precautionary measure, the bewildered education sector had quickly adopted the usage of online communication platforms to conduct education digitally. If you're not using Zoom, you're using Teams. If not that, then it's Skype. Apart from these aforementioned platforms, I'm sure there's tons of other applications which facilitate digital communication. Teachers and students alike have had to adapt to this new normal. Geez, if I had a penny for every time that was mentioned, I'd be filthy rich. Needless to say, digital education comes with its own attendant issues. There's a human need for social interaction. Wi-Fi and technology are a luxury for some and difficult to grasp, amongst numerous other issues. Although many issues exist, the circumstances are far from dire. In fact, it wouldn't be a stretch to say that it has brought us closer than ever before. Online platforms pave the way for astounding collaborative efforts between a diverse group of individuals. I can even attend a conference held in Antarctica about ecological conservation. Such mind-tickling events are no longer bound by geographical barriers, thus providing students ample opportunities to broaden their horizons. It has also brought up many neglected issues in education standards, including rigid and stressful content-based testing systems. Amazingly enough, it's enabled schools to innovate, ease, and balance the syllabus and portions. Now, remember that important information you missed out in class while you were probably talking to your friend, daydreaming, or eating your favorite snack? Luckily, there's easily accessible recordings that allow us to review the classes at our own pace. Another major benefit is being free from inter-student distractions and the ability to clearly listen to your teacher. With that in mind, the education sector is changing. Social needs for human interaction still serves as a major deterrent towards the complete acceptance of digital education in our daily lives. However, the concept of digital education isn't entirely ignored, especially with such a large number of people equating themselves to this medium. Though there may be a recently developed strategy of education, there's bound to be an increase in the acceptance of digital education going forward. I sincerely thank you, dear audience, for partaking in this session.
Due to some technical error, we couldn't upload the video of contestant number 3. Now, I call upon contestant number 3 to express his views.
It is not the strongest
Contestant
or the
number
most
3.
intelligent who will thrive, but those who can best adapt to change. Leon C. Begginson. I extend my warmest greetings to the judges and the audience. To think we are all actually here because our ancestors reshaped their lives to change like pottery, surviving wars, plagues, etc. And 2020 was another test of this adaptability. The education sector was severely affected as the future of 1.52 billion children was put in jeopardy. But come what may, humanity does not bow down when adversity strikes. Humanity stumbles, but it recovers and learns how to stand back up and never fall to it again. And so, 93% of the countries adopted digital learning policies according to UNICEF. And now, digital education is no more the next big thing, but the now big thing, shifting us from the four walls of a classroom to the infinite internet. In fourth world countries like Malawi, books were scarce, had decades-old material, and were expensive due to a crashing currency. But with the onset of digital education as a result of COVID, marginalized communities now have access to an ever-expanding free online library. The integration of technology makes learning more applied. In our classes, we use clips of recent policy discussions for economics and even memes. Ranjit Singh Disale, a rural school teacher and the winner of the Global Teachers Prize 2020, put QR codes to learning tools in textbooks. And so, teachers and parents are now digitally literate with the assistance of students and are connected to the global database. Gen Z, the largest student population present, is more skill and passion focused than ever before. And digital education is channeling this paradigm shift that education should not require a fortune and should be about building skilled individuals, pointing at the $1.3 trillion student loan crisis. They are utilizing the internet to acquire skills on various future-proof topics like cryptocurrency, data science, social media marketing, etc. Moreover, when you study online, you save the earth, as the International Journal of Sustainability claimed that online classes have 85% less CO2 emissions and 87% less energy consumption. As Rosa Luxemburg said, those who do not move do not notice their chains. Adverse times brought digital education to us, but now we are looking at reducing debt, sustainability, equal access to quality education, and rebuilding the workforce with essential skills. So you see, the ocean of change took you beyond your little island of consuming comfort to this gold mine of endless endeavors. And it's up to you how much you are willing to dig. Thank you.
That's the end of the first round. That is, we finished 11 contestants. Now let's take a break. Life is one grand sweet song. So start the music. So let us refresh our mind with a group song.
I will enter his gates with thanksgiving in my heart. I will enter his courts with praise. I will say this is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice for he has made me glad. He has made me glad. He has made me glad. I will rejoice for he has made me glad. I will enter his gates with thanksgiving in my heart. I will enter his courts with praise. I will say this is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice for he has made me glad. He has made me glad. He has made me glad. I will rejoice for he has made me glad. He has made me glad. He has made me glad. I will rejoice for he has made me glad. Blessed are those who dwell in your house. They are ever praising you. Blessed are those whose strength is in you, whose hearts are set on our God. Blessed are those who dwell in your house. They are ever praising you. Blessed are those whose strength is in you, whose hearts are set on our God. We will go from strength to strength until we see you face to face. Hear our prayer, O Lord God Almighty. Come bless our land as we seek you, worship you. For you are holy, for you are holy, for you are holy, Lord. For you are holy, for you are holy, for you are holy, Lord. For you are holy, for you are holy, for you are holy, Lord. For you are holy, for you are holy, for you are holy,
Due to technical reasons, contestant number 12 is not able to participate in this event. Now I call upon contestant number 13.
A very good day to all of you.
My topic for today is COVID-19 crisis with an imbibed silver lining has naturally propelled a paradigm shift towards acceptance of digital learning as the new normal. This world is very complicated, pretty obvious considering the population of over 7.8 billion. To deal with such a multitude, people have come up with a subtle science, philosophy. Not delving into its details, let's cotton on how such a large community forms a social lattice. Take an individual to be an element. The families, friend circles, communities, concentric interest groups, etc. serve as compounds formed by the combination and interaction of elements. These compounds, as well as individual elements, mix together to form a mixture, which is seen as the world around us. It doesn't matter how they are mixed, so long as it doesn't result in the element or compound changing, they will retain their properties. People say that in the past few months, we have suffered a crisis that has, in its due course, either physically or mentally, directly or indirectly, decimated the world. Essays, articles, poems, even suicide notes have flooded the media in this period. But every cloud has a silver lining, and this one seems to have a platinum one. Knowingly or otherwise, we have tread on the path of revolution. An alternate medium of schooling? Truly not a packet of peanuts. The pandemic crisis has provided us an opportunity to undertake such a paradigm shift. Not denying the fact that everything has its pros and cons, isn't it still something fascinating and new? It is a useful and a very powerful tool to save time, especially during emergencies. Representation of certain visual concepts on the spot, which would have otherwise been very operose, has become simple. There is a detailed log of the work done for reference if required. The risk of losing books, files, documents, etc. is negligible. All these advantages provide a huge margin of superiority. Digital learning has benefited the quality of education in many ways. The people remain the same. It's only the way they interact that has changed. I would like to conclude with a few lines. There isn't a problem without solution. It's only for us to rack our brains. For that's the gift bestowed on us, to feel the joy after pain. Thank you.
We now have contestant number 14.
Back in March of 2020, COVID had spread around the world, and things were abruptly starting to change. Schools were starting to go online, people were starting to work from home, everybody was quarantined, and so much more. Hi, today I'm going to be talking about whether COVID led to schools becoming more digitally advanced. I personally think that COVID has definitely led to schools moving into the digital age for a few different reasons. When news of school going online went around, I'm sure that many parents were worried about if their kids would be able to learn properly and just how things would work out in general. But it's worked out pretty well for the most part, and most people don't have too many problems with distance learning anymore. All thanks to one thing: technology. As a result of COVID, teachers had to find different ways to teach their students what they were already learning in the classroom, but online, since that was pretty much one of the only ways you could communicate. They would use Google Classroom and email to send out their homework and classwork, and they would use Zoom and Google Meets to teach their lessons. Now, a question that many people have is, once we go back in person, will we continue using these online resources that we learned about and started using during distance learning, or will we just completely go back to how things used to be? I'm sure that we will continue using some, if not most, of the online resources that we use during distance learning. Because before COVID, many teachers weren't aware of the many different websites and apps that could not only help their teaching, but our learning. For example, once we go back in person, we could keep using Google Classroom and Google Docs to make sure we're more organized and don't lose our things. And teachers can pre-record Zoom meetings of themselves and show those to kids who are absent. This is also why I believe that we have permanently entered a digital age and will only continue to use these resources in the future. Teachers and parents now know of the many different platforms that can help students that are a lot easier than just handing a piece of paper over to their students that they could easily lose. Considering all of this, I think that it's pretty clear to see that even though COVID has not been a pleasant experience for anyone, it has definitely helped schools move into the digital age. Thank you.
Let's hear what contestant number 15 has to say.
These have been unprecedented times across the globe. The novel coronavirus has changed how millions around the world are educated. The spread and fear of the infection has shut down almost all educational institutions. The COVID 19 outbreak is a paradigm shift altogether for the simple reason that it is not man made. The ability to survive any of these black swan events hinges on humanity's capability to react swiftly but thoughtfully. Social media and mobile phones have enabled communication and commerce at an unprecedented scale and given a new meaning to convenience and comfort. The coronavirus has also forced individuals, families, and businesses to revisit several assumptions and paradigms. The presumption that a lot of work can be best performed by assembling people under one roof after an arduous commute through heavy traffic is now being questioned. In the wake of an unprecedented lockdown period, the educational system is moving online as far as possible, turning classrooms into online spaces and teachers into virtual educators. It seems that the integration of information technology in education will be further accelerated, and that online teaching will eventually become an integral part of the school curriculum. Research shows that on an average, students retain 25 to 60% more material when learning online as compared to only 8 to 10% in a classroom. And now this is mostly because students can learn at their own pace, going back and forth, rereading, skipping, or accelerating the concepts as they choose. The lockdown measures have turned millions of students into temporary homeschooling situations all over the world. These changes have certainly caused a degree of inconvenience, but they've also prompted new examples of innovation in education. Though direct interaction of students and teachers can never be replaced, still, in order to motivate and ensure that the students work hard, our teachers are not leaving any stone unturned. To ensure that the joy, warmth, and the understanding is still kept the same, teachers have now started live video classes, chatting, and on novel interactive techniques. Hopefully, we continue to question existing paradigms and move ahead in the right direction.
Contestant number 16 will now speak on the topic.
COVID-19 crisis with its imbibed silver lining has naturally propelled a paradigm shift towards the acceptance of digital education as the new normal. A very warm and cheerful good morning to everyone. Myself, Nitish Singh, is going to speak on the given topic. Of the 7.8 billion global population, 1.3 billion are learners who were severely affected by the sudden closure of educational institutions. These spaces are fundamental for academic interactions, development of social and physical being, and required skills. This has left billions with no other option but to opt for a new method of learning. All educational institutions were pushed to a new delivery mode since March 2020, and that is digital education. Digital education didn't evolve overnight, but with the explosion of internet facilities, Digital education has recently crept in our digital arena. Previously, we had correspondent courses which were the first stepping stones of digital education. March 2020 brought about such a situation in the world where there was a crisis of ideas of how to let our children continue with their education process. So here stepped in digital education with capital D. We as a common people are quite unaware of the benefits of digital education, which are far and many. Digital education allows a child to remain in his own domain and continue his studies in the same environment as before. He or she need not relocate, which affects the child temperamentally, and the child needs time to adjust himself to the new atmosphere. But digital education, being the new normal, allows a child with his own space to enhance and upgrade his skills. The child has the freedom to learn anything from anywhere. Digital education has shown us that geographical boundaries are no more an impediment in the course of our learning. Children from tier 2 and tier 3 cities are the ones who have benefited the most from it because they are exposed to the excellent academic environment which was enjoyed mainly by the children from metro cities. It has provided us access to never before knowledge repositories. It is the new normal because it beats traditional ventures with flexibility and easy operations. Today's new age students are tech savvy. They are hands-on with their tablets and mobile phones. Therefore, this new normal is seamless. With the support of online technologies such as Zoom, Google Classroom, etc., aided by the teachers wasting their no time in learning new technologies to instruct the classroom, digital education is now a success. Yes, I believe that digital education is indeed the new normal. Post-pandemic, we are blessed to face a world where digital education can spread its wing far and wide and make this world a small global village. Thank you.
Now I would call contestant number 17.
Gone are the days when learning was confined into a physical space, often referred as classroom. Today, with the help of technology, we can learn whatever we want with just a click on the button. With this, a very pleasant morning to one and all. I'm going to speak on the given topic, COVID-19 crisis with an MB-bed silver lining has naturally propelled over the paradigm shift towards the acceptance of digital education as a new normal. Today, the whole world has turned into a single classroom with the advent of technology, which is creating educational platforms which sees millions of subscribers on daily basis. Research has shown that the performance of the students are also increasing in the online classes as comparison to the face-to-face interaction. And due to these digital education, many coding decoding apps are also launched like the Scratch Junior, M Block and so on. The integration of the technology in education system was also boosted in India during the COVID-19 pandemic, which was later fueled by the National Education Policy 2020. According to this, opportunities were also given to the ed-tech startups like Vedantu, Topper, then Unacademy, etc. Unacademy is one of the India's leading teaching education company, which is having educators more than 18,000 and providing materials for competitive examinations like SSC, railways, banking, etc. Apart from this, the Government of India has also launched a campaign known as the Digital India before 5 years, that is on 1st of July 2015 by the Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Damodar Das Modi ji, which is active till date. The concept behind launching this program was to build a bridge between the literacy sleepies. Now, let me tell you the population of India, that is 1,395.37 million, out of which 761.52 million people are using internet. That is 41% internet penetration. The reason behind saying this is that it is helping to increase the literacy rate, because the literacy rate in 2019 was 69.1%, whereas during the pandemic situation, the literacy rate increased to 77.7%. That is 8.6% of increasement. So, digital education
is one of the components to make our youngsters delightful and responsible. This is how we can make them interact with the world around them. Thank you.
Next is contestant number 18.
According to webforum.org, as a result of COVID-19, education has changed dramatically with the distinctive rise of e-learning, whereby teaching is undertaken remotely and on digital platforms. Hello, my name is Jaya. I'll be talking about the impact of COVID-19 on education and how this virus has caused school to go online. The two things I'll be talking about today are number one, the impact of online school on education, and number two, I'll be talking about how COVID-19 can have an impact on school in the future, even after the pandemic is over. My first point is that COVID-19 caused schools to go online, which had a huge impact on education. In this point, I'll be elaborating on the impact of online school on education. According to webforum.org, the COVID-19 pandemic has resulted in schools shut all across the world. Globally, over 1.2 billion children are out of the classroom. This has both a positive and negative effect on education. On the positive side, researchers have shown that online learning has been shown to increase retention of information in a shorter period of time. Some negative effects on online school is that not everyone is able to learn independently, and access to technology is limited for some people. To conclude this point, billions of children around the world have had to adjust to this new way of learning, whether it has had a positive or a negative impact on them. On to my second point. COVID-19 can have a large impact on education in the future, even after the pandemic. In some places, schools are planning on keeping online schooling for situations like snow days. In December, New York Mayor Bill de Blasio said that even when kids are home because of snow, they'll still be learning. In addition, roughly 20% of public school district superintendents and charter school leaders told RIND Corporation researchers that they're planning on continuing a fully online schooling option after the pandemic, or are at least considering the option for students and families who want the choice. As I said earlier, online school can have positive impacts on students, like learning things faster, and it's because of this that online school could be here to stay. In conclusion, the COVID-19 pandemic has had a huge effect in all areas, especially in education. All students have had to adjust into their new learning environment somehow. But in the end, only time will tell exactly how impactful online education will be in the future. Thank you.
Now I call upon contestant number 19.
The COVID-19 pandemic has continued to present unprecedented effects across the world. Globally, lockdown measures have been enacted to contain its spread, which in turn has disrupted regular business and social activities. Amid this emergency, countries have been forced to adapt to a new normal of living. In response, educational institutions across the globe have started adopting more digital teaching practices and tools to bridge physical divides, showing signs of a long anticipated evolution. The world today has become a classroom, with the advent of technology creating educational platforms which sees millions of subscribers on a daily basis. Some who use these platforms to complement their conventional classroom learning, while others use such platforms to learn a new skill. We don't need to refer to multiple books, make notes, or do anything as such, and it is a cost-efficient means of learning. Accessibility, affordability, flexibility, learning pedagogy, and lifelong learning are some of the arguments related to digital education. It is said that online mode of learning is easily accessible and can even reach to rural and remote areas. It is considered to be a relatively cheaper mode of education in terms of the lower cost of transportation, accommodation, and the overall cost of institution-based learning. Flexibility is another interesting aspect of online learning. A learner can schedule or plan their time for completion of courses available online. Combining face-to-face lectures with technology gives rise to blended learning and flipped classrooms. This type of learning environment can increase the learning potential of the students. Students can learn anytime and anywhere, thereby developing new skills in the processes leading to life. The multitude of information and resources on the internet, if used correctly by the educators, can really make a difference in a student's education. Digital education is not without its downsides though. Managing screen time, avoiding procrastination, providing gadgets to the poorer sections of the society are some of the many issues that we have to address. Every form of technology comes with its boons and banes. It is the way we use it which determines how or how much it can influence us. Same is the case for online learning. If used properly, it can be a blessing. Maintaining a healthy balance is imperative in order to pave a great future for the youth. Thank you.
We now have contestant number 20.
Good morning. The beginning of 2020. Fear gripped the world, death prowled. The world came to a standstill. Pandemic broke out. Yes, the novel coronavirus was playing havoc in the world. As we go through the history, we see that pandemic always changed the prevailing systems in the world. When the pandemic was hit first in AD 546, it killed around 100 million people. It put an end to the Eastern Roman Empire. In 1347, Black Death killed quarter of world's population, and the very social system underwent irreparable changes. 1894 witnessed another wave of Black Death, and at last, now in this scientific era, it came as a bolt from the blue. COVID-19 changes everything. It affected the economy, social life, family life, and drastically the present education system. As per the World Economic Forum, over 1.2 billion children were out of the classroom. Schools, colleges, and universities had to close down to prevent the spreading of the virus. What next? Can we be stagnant? No. Within no time, our education system was transformed from a chalk and board method to a digital learning platform with the use of laptops, tabs, and mobile phones. This digital learning for the children as new normal was inevitable. It has opened new vistas to the student community. Children can learn so much in their own comfort zones. It will make them much more independent. It augments their creativity. It strengthens their thinking power and reaffirms their self-building skills. In the midst of these positive vibes, I do not ignore the mental stress of the children originated from the unreliable internet access and parents' apprehension about the health hazards of children due to excessive use of these gadgets. But I am sanguine. Something new and hassle-free will replace the old. Digital learning will flourish as the only solution. Let new system emerge. Let us look forward to a newer world with robust optimism. Adieu.
Let's now hear what contestant number 21 has to say.
Live as if you were to die tomorrow, and learn as if you were to live forever. This was rightly said by the father of the Indian nation, Mahatma Gandhi. Every year we see students gearing up with immense enthusiasm and excitement for the new educational level that waits for them. They prepare themselves rigorously to bear the new knowledge and challenges that come with it. And along with that, they carry fantastic imaginations of the new classroom and their new block, where they remain to study and remain to play. But the year 2020 has something else in store for not only students and teachers, but all institutions around the world. As the pandemic hit the living piece of macrocosm and rapidly converted itself over world economies and employment, lockdowns and quarantine led to various components of the utility zone
to either close down or move online, and education was part of the domino effect. E-learning, a term that now every student now knows. It has been a part of the education system since November 1999. But it's only at this point of time that students and teachers who participated in what we call normal schooling have become heavily dependent on it due to the ongoing national health crisis. The total closure has struck the world of education with several hardships and new challenges for both teachers and their students. They have been heavily burdened with the task of adapting to a new environment where now learning and teaching takes place through a screen. Teachers now have to work several roles such as an IT technician, a parent, and as first said, a teacher. A teacher who has to look after and support their students no matter what may come. While teachers are endlessly working hard, students are also striving to adapt to this new form of learning. Students all around the globe were overjoyed by the idea of e-learning that began and ended in their rooms. But only after continuing the stretched and repetitive routines, they realized that school in its physical form is their true joy. It is to be noted that given the stark consequences of COVID-19, one of the pros of online learning is that it has taught millions a new form of technology that they wouldn't have known otherwise. And as a matter of fact, the future of education has been transformed to not only accommodate online classrooms, but embrace digital education. And that is what we humans are made for. We learn, we live, we experience and adapt to widen our palette for what I shall say, the new normal.
We now have contestant number 22.
Greetings of the season. I'm Sharon Matthew from Bangalore, India. COVID-19 has been a devastating pandemic that has tossed humanity in a large manner in all the streams, be it psychological, physiological, economical, educational, etc. Across the globe, students and teachers has been affected by school closures and other restrictions which is in need to contain the spread of the epidemic. Students are compelled to distance from education or online learning. There is always difficulties in accepting change. Change is not always easy. Similarly, digital learning was not an easy task to begin with. There are both advantages and disadvantages of digital learning. Definitely, I personally am of the opinion that going to school is the best public tool to raise one's social skills along with knowledge gain. But again, to cope up with the current situation and to make oneself feel better, it is good to analyze the advantages of digital learning. You have round-the-clock access to educational resources and materials. Familiarity with technology. Digital learning in some manner contributes to the preservation of resources. For example, less pollution due to reduced usage of vehicles. Thanks to technology that still allows the continuation of education even in this disruptive situation. Yes, while we educate ourselves at home, we need to keep in mind a few consequences of digital learning. First, the social isolation that can have a great impact on the emotional quotient of the child. Communication skills of the child may take a hit. Also, in a country like India, the reach of technology to remote places due to economical issues has interrupted the studies of a few community of children. Most of you would know how an eagle changes for its survival. The lifespan of an eagle is 70 years. In the 40th year, it needs to make a hard decision. The beaks and talons are weak. The wings get heavy. It has two options: die or go through this painful process, which lasts for 150 days. Now, the eagle needs to fly to a mountain and pluck out its beaks and feathers, wait for its regrowth. 5 months later, It regains strength and lives for 30 years. Similarly, this change is a hope for the renewed survival of humanity. Thank you.
Next is our contestant number 23.
Greetings to all. This is my 2020 story. I was in my school with my best friends, smiling at the teacher who was smiling back at me. It was a very pleasant day. But suddenly, we were all thrown into a lockdown. Using digital education for the past 9 months has made me realize its importance. Change is the only constant, as said by the Greek philosopher Heraclitus. The change due to this pandemic happened in moments, completely shifting our realities. One of the most often used terms during the pandemic is the term new normal, which in education is the increased use of online learning tools. Today's online education offers everything from 1-hour live sessions to online degrees. From a kindergartner to a middle-aged person, everyone can acquire expertise in the field of their choice. Live like you'll die tomorrow. Learn like you'll live forever, as said by Mahatma Gandhi. Even earning people who wish to get an insight in other areas have a variety of courses available for them. Many talents like coding and IT are best learned through digital media. This makes teachers good educators and students good learners. It opens doors for a futuristic approach of education with the help of videos and puzzles to quiz the students. The students, without the coercion of teachers, learn to become self-assertive and goal-oriented. The teachers too find it easy as there's a reduction in the amount of workload due to the availability of automated evaluation programs. This also reduces the amount of paperwork, which helps protect the environment. Even in the era of digitalization, there are still villages which need to metamorphosize into a better version. Often, someone from the village can be the hidden bright spark who opens up frontiers of beauty for the augmentation of the nation. Thus, digital education can help provide education to rural areas with the help of qualified educators. Online education is an amazing and easy way to learn about almost everything. Even after the pandemic, institutions must not only turn towards physical books, but also take aid of the digital media. To summarize digital education, here is a poem. In times of adversity, let's learn productivity. Learning from all over the world, in front of us knowledge has unfurled. Whether in classroom or online, we will all study just fine. Thank you for giving a patient ear to me.
Now coming to the last contestant, contestant number 24.
And there shall be a better day, a significant way to deal with the loss of ability and resource. For 1921 shall be a greater year, for I see a glass half full. Extracted from a journal by Albert Marin during the time of influenza pandemic 1918-20. Greetings to the esteemed panel of judges and my dear viewers. Today I'd like to throw some light on the eminent subject of discussion. COVID-19 crisis with an imbibed silver lining has naturally propelled a paradigm shift towards the acceptance of digital education as the new normal. Well, 84.5 million cases, 47.5 million recoveries and roughly 1.9 million deaths. A 3% shrink in the global economy and the worldwide lockdown for months. This year indeed was hard for us, right? But this isn't the first time humanity has faced such a pandemic. We've had worse before. The horrific time of 1918-20 made me re-question my belief system. Was this year really hard for us? Because if I compare the two situations, I find a comparatively higher loss of ability, resource, human lives back then. With my deepest condolences to the people who lost their lives and loved ones. COVID-19 shattered us in its true sense. But I cannot stop myself from saying that this year was an year of growth. We are in an age of impossibilities, the golden era of technology. And as the man himself, Albert Einstein, said, in the middle of a difficulty lies an opportunity. We have never been so intensely connected before. We share ideologies, we share culture, we share education, and what not? But this isn't the highlight of 2020, because it has to be how we reimagined and redefined the concept of education. We never thought that our lives would revolve around gadgets, never thought that learning beyond books, beyond our capacities, while being confined in the four walls would be the new normal. This truly is a blessing in disguise for us, because back in 2015, when apps were gaining momentum, 2020 has proved to be a propeller. This is the new normal. Through online learning, we have maximized the usage of our potential. But let me tell you the most interesting fact, because it has to be that we are the normals. We have the capacity to make any situation normal, to make the best out of the worst. We are who we are, the trendsetters. This is our journey of being extraordinarily, unpredictably normal. We start there, humans. Thank you so much for lending me your ears.
So, contestant number 24 was our last contestant. Well done, all the contestants. We had a very nice time with all of you. Next, we will be having a classical dance by Sakshi Chaurasia.
Jekit taka tattam, jekit taka tattam. Jekit taka tattam, jekit taka tattam.
That was a wonderful presentation by our student Sakshi Chaurasia. You all are aware that we had a panel of judges with us. So now it's the time for the judges to express their views on this international elocution competition. I start with Madam Annie John Matthew is proud to be Belian and is a Chief Information Officer of Mother Dairy Fruit and Vegetable Private Limited. Madam has experience in diverse domains through having worked in NOCL and many other companies. Madam is passionate about utilizing technology to create market differentiation and enhance consumer engagement. I request Madam to share her experiences. Please, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Good afternoon, respected Tirumeni, His Grace Dr. Joseph Madanushis, very Reverend Father Thomas Ramban, Professor Dr. Tharagan, respected co-judges, and all the participants and listeners. First of all, it is an honor to be part of an event held in memory of Tirumeni, His Grace Dr. Theodosius. My husband, Group Captain Matthew Verghese, said that our marriage was solemnized by Tirumeni. We were really blessed in that respect to be part of this event. At the outset, I would like to compliment the organizers of the event. It's been an amazing experience. The quality of the participants has been stupendously brilliant. I think, I'm overemphasizing that, but it's really amazing quality. And the amount of effort, I'm aware of the amount of effort that has been put in by the organizers, Uma ma'am and her team, the sustained interaction with us over the last few weeks, and compliments to all of you for organizing this wonderful event. I'm also very proud, being a woman in a very, a male-dominated area. It is great to see so many girls participating, girls as the voice of their schools. I think there were around 16 women, girls, out of the 23 participants, really a good ratio to have. I have to confess to some ambivalence about the topic initially, right? COVID-19 as an enabler to digital education. I come from an era where, for me, academia and present is a very small part of the education process. I believe that social skills are picked up through physical interaction. while digital education, and especially since I work in the IT space, digital education as an augmentation is a big plus. It gives you personalized, engaging content, immersing learning experiences. I still believe it cannot replace the traditional classrooms. But then again, as I was listening to these excellent speakers, I realized that even though my son was an active debater through school and college, I did not have the opportunity to hear his debates due to the lack of digital options. Even today, when I speak to parents whose children are going through, were actually thrown in the deep end when school started in a digital format in July. I am told that kids have traversed this chasm effortlessly. Tools have been adopted brilliantly by the kids. They are able to teach the parents and the teachers now how to use tools more effectively. Even extracurricular activities have become a way to adopt tools and to exploit the tools, technology more effectively. So to me, I mean, the way technology has supported this whole evolution caused due to COVID is a great learning. And to me, the way schools have adopted to this new format is an eye opener indeed, right? I'm also amazed at the clarity of thought and the fluid oratory of each and every student who spoke today. But what we have to realize is that these students are the privileged lot who have access to digital technologies. One of the concerns which all of us have is whether the digital divide will add to the numerous other divisions that exist today. So as long as all of us work together to make sure that technology becomes more inclusive, I think this is a medium which will help make education more equitable. When I speak to teachers, I hear mixed stories. My part of my job is to talk to people and understand how to adopt technology. And when I speak to teachers, I hear that they have a lot of concerns about the number of kids who are not able to have access to technology, who are deprived of education. To me, the right to education cannot be compromised on, and technology has to be equitable so that every student has access to education. So some of the thoughts which the contestants have brought forth are really relevant, very valuable insights. Students seem to be loving this format, and the Gen Z way of working possibly will be a very connected world. And I hope these new technology mediums will help Gen Z work better in a connected universe. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing your experiences. Now, next we have Professor Roland Gamini Sirsinghe from Malaysia. Sir is a professor of psychology and director of medical education at Taylor's University School of Medicine. Sir has been honored with international awards for his academic leadership. With this note, I request Sir to address. Please, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So let me see how much I enjoyed. The first thing I need to say is that how much I enjoyed this evening attending this event. And so thank you very much for providing me the privilege to be with you for this event. And I congratulate the organizers, firstly, for taking up this challenge in these times. It's not an easy thing to organize. And also for the very smooth running. My compliments to the organizers. And as judges, we have been given information well in advance, very clear information. And I see, obviously, from the rest of it, everything has been organized to the smallest precise moment. And the program ran smoothly, very well done. I was also heartened by Prof. Tharakan's speech, where he explained how the school has coped with this situation, and heartened because the school has not just coped with the current situation in just delivering education, but has gone beyond that just adaptation to advance education and innovate things for the benefit of all. And finally, the big thank you, and I think here the most important thank you is to our contestants. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure listening to all of you. And irrespective of your rankings today, you are all winners. And thank you for those speeches. I thoroughly enjoyed that, and it was really a pleasure. The only complaint is that they were short, or I would have liked to listen to them for a longer time. So thank you very much to all. All the best to the contestants. And that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Madam Georgia Meneta from Greece is a school teacher, oral assessor of English for the state certificate in Greece. She is a member of executive board of GMRT, that is Global Matrix Readers Theatre, ambassador of e-twinning. Now I request Ma'am Georgia to speak on this competition.
Hello everyone. I'm really honored and glad to be here among you. First of all, I would like to congratulate the team behind this amazing organization. You all helped to run everything smoothly. We didn't have any questions regarding the organization and the giving of marks, and we were not feeling stressed at all. Now, as far as the competition goes, I will speak using my role as an English teacher. First of all, for me, as the previous judge mentioned, you are all winners. You are all winners because you stood in front of a camera, brave, courageous, and speaking in a language which is not your own language, using English. Competitions like this one help students use English in authentic contexts, making them understand that English is not a subject to be taught and be awarded high marks. English is there for people to communicate their thoughts and feelings to people all over the world. Apart from this, apart from just having to use English, you all had amazing presentations. You all gave insightful thoughts about the changes that this pandemic brought to your life as students and to our lives as both teachers and parents. Competitions like that help students to develop their critical thinking skills, to develop their language skills, and to develop themselves as presenters and as future citizens of this world. Thank you very much. Keep up the good work. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I would request Ma'am Rachel Zakaria. Madam Rachel Zakaria is from United States of America. She is an adjunct professor, Los Angeles Community College District. She is a college professor with a strong track record of teaching various disciplines in business and fostering a diverse learning environment. Now I call upon Mrs. Rachel to say a few words on today's topic and the occasion.
Thank you, ma'am, and a warm hello to everyone watching today, especially our chief guests, our church fathers, and also my fellow judges. Let me first take a few seconds to express my sincere gratitude to the principal, the teachers, the staff, the organizers of MGM Bhilai for inviting me as a judge to this prestigious inter-school annual event. Let me tell you that this has been an honor. Now, I would, having seen and heard all of these wonderful presentations, let me organize my thoughts into three categories, three remarks. First, I want to start with the reason why I'm here. The reason I'm here is to judge the best speech or the best speaker, correct? But let me tell you something. You made, students, this is to the students, you made my job very difficult. right? You made it very difficult. When I first saw that there were 24 of you speaking, I thought that, hey, it's going to be easy to select a distinct few among all of you, but I was wrong. I was wrong. Those were some exceptional presentations that you gave today. And I'm a business communication professor, so I can see the quality, the quality of presentations that you just showed today. The effort, I have to say that the effort in preparing and in presenting this particular topic in a concise yet thorough manner is very commendable. For me, the top scorers, and I'm going to use the word scorers, I'm not going to use the word winners because, in my opinion, you're all winners. So the top scorers are those who articulated their thoughts very well into words, and also those who made good use of nonverbal communication, right? This is just a little bit of an advice or a suggestion. You don't have to overdo this, but to gauge or to engage your audiences, you can always use a little bit of voice intonation, expressions, gestures, facial expressions, eye contact, etc., which all count. And most of you had incorporated that. This is excellent, right? Great job, all of you. I cannot stress, how well you have done, how well you did a good job today. The second remark is about the topic itself. Which is, about digital education, a very relevant topic in this pandemic era. And let me tell you that you taught me a lot, right? I did hear some very interesting and informative points that I've never really thought about before. Let me share a little bit of my experience as an online professor during this pandemic, very briefly. First, the positive. I see that the quality of academic work presented or produced by my students have increased or improved significantly. And why? As you all know, and as you all spoke, they have more time on their hands, they're not traveling, they're not doing a lot of the other activities that they usually do. However, we have to talk about the cons here too. There are still so many students out there who do not have access to the resources that are required for digital education. So while many of you benefited, there are still many of you who are still struggling. And of course, there is the social and the emotional aspect, right? I'm sure a lot of you miss being around your friends and also, your classmates. So that's just how we are wired, correct? Having said all that, as the topic itself suggests, every cloud has a silver lining. And I do believe that digital education is here to stay. We do have a long way to go, but I hope our leaders, our educators, the system, our parents can all explore the possibilities that digital education has and somehow find a middle ground between online learning and in-person interactions. Remember, it's during times of dire need that we tend to think outside the box, correct? Never before in history has a vaccine been developed so quickly. And never before in history or in educational history has education itself changed so rapidly. Now, look at all of you. We all went online in a matter of days, right? Not months, not years, in a matter of days. And so this is doable. I'm going to close my remarks here. One last remark. I'm not going to take up too much of your time. I just want to say I appreciate the diligence and the teamwork. I can see that this is teamwork that has been put into organizing this event. Let me tell you that every element of this event has been meticulously planned. There were no glitches, and I have to sincerely thank the school leadership, the teachers, the staff, the organizers. Special thanks to Ms. Uma and Mrs. Somi Sajeev for guiding us throughout the way, and also great job to all the parents and the students who did these wonderful presentations. And finally, to all of you who are watching to make this event a success. It's been an honor. Best wishes to you all.
Thank you, Madam Rachel. Now, let us hear from Mr. Thomas Walker what he has to say about the competition and the contestants.
I found myself deeply moved by the efforts of these students to present something unique from them, from their studies and from their hearts. I think I particularly appreciated those who not only dealt with the fact of online learning in a positive way, but who also brought forth some of the limitations of it. Adaptation has been an essential ingredient of life on this earth. And we're in a situation now where there are some losses as well as some gains. I have taught many hours in India, in Kerala, in the Shalom school. And one of the things I have said to the students is, you're used to concentrating one-on-one with the teacher. But I'm going to tell you something. This classroom is a living theater. All of you are going to come up here on stage. Now, how we replace that feeling of everybody's involvement, almost as a large team in the classroom, is something that we have to think about. But as to the present, many, many things that people have studied and found out and were presented today are very worthy of note, because there is a great struggle going on to make teaching online a reality. In my own case, with Shalom School, I teach students every Friday. My morning at 7 a.m. is their evening at 8:30. So it's the end of the day and the beginning of mine. But the spoken word is so impactful to change the world, if it will. I think the way I want to finish this is with the fact of Jesus Christ. The first verses of John chapter 1. In the beginning was what? The Word. And the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The same was in the beginning with God. All things were created by him. How did he do it? He was the Word. He spoke, and light came, etc., etc. But my final remark in regard to this has to do with an occasion in the life of the Lord Jesus on this earth. The Pharisees had sent a company of people to go and seize Jesus. And they went, and they returned. And the Pharisees said, well, you haven't brought him with you. And their comment was this: never did a man speak as this man spoke. In other words, his words were so impactful, they could do nothing but leave him alone, listen to his wisdom, and wonder at what he had to say. So in terms of those beloved students who gave their best today, my comment is, learn to express yourself from a heart full of gratitude, full of love, full of all the things in this world that is going to make a difference. Have a passion for what you believe. And insofar as you are able, change a little of the world around you. Because if there are enough in our generation, or the young generation, that will make the effort to speak from a fountain of wisdom and experience, perhaps what comes next may lift us all up and give thanks for the life that God has given us. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your beautiful and informative words. Now, before we go to the result declaration, let us have a cultural entertainment by our school students. Thank you, Saifi. It was a beautiful dance performance by you. Next, we have a solo song by Shashwat Pandey.
श्रावण नारुतो वर्षाणि ना जलना धार मेघराज तो मानो साजन सुर सुजान गरज गरज बरसो जलधर गरज गरज बरसो गरज गरज बरसो जलधर गरज गरज बरसो रे दीपक थे लाजे नादन ने दीपक थे लाजे नादन ने शीतल जलती परसो शीतल जलती परसो गरज गरज बरसो जलद गरज गरज बरसो पर दुख माथे ने दुखियारा लइए कोड़ा मंगारा पर दुख माथे ने दुखियारा लइए कोड़ा मंगारा जलताने हारो तो जोग जोग हार्याए वा कर शो हार्याए वा कर शो गरज गरज बरसो जलधर गरज गरज बरसो गगन घोर घन श्याम श्याम तन गगन घोर घन श्याम श्याम तन मेघराज दम आओ जलधर जलधर मेरु कंपे जलधर जल बरसाओ आवो आवो गरज गरज बरसो जलधर गरज गर गरज 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 बरसो बरसो बरसो
Thank you, Shashwat. It was so beautifully sung by you. The Hindustani classical music is of the northern regions and it is of the Indian subcontinent, northern Indian subcontinent. Okay, next now we'll be hearing the instrumental presentation by Anurag Kesaria. Thank you, Anurag. It was a wonderful presentation by you. Now, next we will watch the PPT presentation of our school till the results are out. Okay, next we will be listening to the group song. Okay.
I will enter his gates with thanksgiving in my heart. I will enter his courts with praise. I will say this is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice for he has made me glad. He has made me glad. He has made me glad. I will rejoice for he has made me glad. I will enter his gates with thanksgiving in my heart. I will enter his courts with praise. I will say this is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice for he has made me glad. He has made me glad. He has made me glad. I will rejoice for he has made me glad. He has made me glad. He has made me glad. I will rejoice for he has made me glad. Blessed are those who dwell in your house. They are ever praising you. Blessed are those whose strength is in you, whose hearts are set on our God. Blessed are those who dwell in your house. They are ever praising you. Blessed are those whose strength is in you, whose hearts are set on our God. We will go from strength to strength until we see you face to face. Hear our prayer, O Lord God Almighty. Come bless our land as we seek you, worship you. For you are holy, for you are holy, for you are holy, Lord. For you are holy, for you are holy, for you are holy, Lord. For you are holy, for you are holy, for you are holy, Lord. For you are holy, for you are holy, for you are holy,
Now I will present the Bharatnatyam by Bishita Chakravarti.
Jing
Jekitaka 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 tattam Jekitaka 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 tattam Jekitaka 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 tattam Jekitaka 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 tattam
Nice. Go ahead.
Jaya Jaya Shambho Shiva Shambho Hara Hara Mahadeva Kailasavasa Parvati Nayaka Paramadayana Pavangalai Pokidum Paramashivana
Sorry for the delay of the results. Now I request our Assistant Vicar, Reverend Father Shinu Cherian, to declare the results. Please, Father.
Good afternoon, everyone. The consolation prize second goes to Neeraj Kapra from Delhi Public School, Vikaya, India. Consolation prize first, After Usman Muhammad, Prudence High School, Alcos, Dubai. Second runner-up, Sanjana Mehta, Delhi Private School, Dubai. First runner-up, Subhia Khan, Carmel Convent Senior School, Bhopal, India. And the winner is first prize goes to Aditya S. Kumar, MGM Senior Secondary School, Bhilai, India.
So that was the result. The second consolation prize was won by Ilansh Kabra of Delhi Public School, Bhilai, Chhattisgarh, India. The first consolation prize was Afra Usman Muhammad, Credence High School, Al Quoz, Dubai, UAE. The second runner-up is Sanjana Mehta of Delhi Private School, Dubai, UAE. First runner-up, Zubia Khan of Carmel Convent Senior Secondary School, Bhopal, MP. And the winner is Aditya S. Kumar of MGM Senior Secondary School, Bhilai, Chhattisgarh, India. Congrats to all the winners and all the participants. Well done. God bless you. Now I call upon Madam Uma Kumar, the coordinator of this elocution competition, to propose the vote of thanks. Please, ma'am.
Thank you, Swapna ma'am and my team. To impart value-based education to a student and inculcate them to be good, effective, and creative citizens is the core dimension of MGM Senior Secondary School's vision of education. We know that success is not a destination, but a journey, believing in the philosophy that victory belongs to the most persevering. While thanking the Almighty for his countless blessings, I am here to propose the vote of thanks to all those who made this event a sweet memory to carry home. Gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but the parent of all others. Honorable Chief Guest for the function, His Holiness Basilios Marthoma Paulus II, His Grace Dr. Joseph Ma Dionysius, Very Reverend Thomas Ramban, Very Reverend Guy Vergis Ramban, all the priests, our panel of judges, and other dignitaries present here. It's my proud privilege to stand before you to place on record the contribution of every noble heart towards the success of today's great event. We raise our hearts in gratitude and thank the Almighty for blessing us all today. Francis of Assisi said, "Start by doing what's necessary, then do what's possible, and suddenly you're doing the impossible." Honorable Chief Guest for the occasion, His Holiness Basilios Marthoma Paulus II, Catholicos of the East and Malankara Metropolitan, His Grace Dr. Joseph Ma Dionysius, we are indeed blessed by your presence and bow down in reverence and humility. From the depth of our hearts, we collectively thank Very Reverend Thomas Ramban, Vice President, MGM School, Bhilai, for being our guiding light. We sincerely thank Very Reverend Guy Vergis Ramban, Administrator, St. Thomas College, Bhilai, for gracing us with his virtual presence. On behalf of the MGM fraternity, I express my humble thanks to all the priests of Kolkata Diocese. I express my sincerest gratitude to our international panel of judges, Walker, Mr. Roland Gamini Sirisinghe, Mrs. Annie John Matthew, Mrs. Rachel Zakaria, and Ms. Georgia Manetta for ensuring full support through messages and emails. Thank you once again to all the judges for making the event lively and interactive through your enthusiastic participation. My heartfelt thanks to Assistant Vicar Father Shinu Cherian for his constant support and cooperation. An event of such a large scale cannot be conducted without assistance and involvement. I respectfully thank Honorable Correspondent Mr. Prince M.A. for his unflinching support for this event. I also take time to thank all the members of our church and managing committee. Directionless endeavors lead to disaster. We have been fortunate enough to have a principal, Professor Dr. B.D. Tharagan, who was a guiding light for this event, starting from conceptualizing the idea of an international elocution competition and making sure that it sees the light of the day. Thank you, sir. I would also thank our school in charges, Mrs. Anita Rajan, Mrs. Beena Matthew, and Mrs. S. Gina for their continuous support. I like to extend my gratefulness to parents, teachers, and principals of all participating schools for their overwhelming support by sending their nominations and also by cooperating fully to ensure that the program is a success. With a deep sense of appreciation, I thank all my teachers of MGM for their assistance. Finally, I must mention our students of MGM Bhilai who cooperated in some way or the other in this mega event. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank all our non-teaching staff for their willingness and involvement to take on the completion of tasks beyond their comfort zones. Our sincere thanks to the technical team for their perfect logistics support and guidance. Honorable dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen, once again, I want to state that we all are most grateful to you for being with us for this mega event. It's been a great pleasure. I would like to end with the words from the Bible, James 1.17. Every good and perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of the heavenly lights, who does not change like shifting shadows. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
I request all the judges to be in online. We express our thanks on behalf of the MGM family.
Thank you.
On behalf of MGM fraternity, we are very much thankful for making yourself available. You really grace this occasion by being present and sharing your valuable suggestions and the words of wisdom. And thank you for your appreciation. So the team is really motivated with your valuable advice and suggestion, and in future we will see to it that we will achieve greater heights. We are now again raising our bar to much higher level. So thanks once again. So anyone on your behalf, if you would like to speak a couple of lines, we are here to listen to you. Thank you very much.
I have a question. I don't know who won in terms of the number of the contestant. I need the numbers of the winner and of the runners-up, etc. And I'm sure we all do as judges.
Yes. Yes, sir. We will surely send you by email and WhatsApp the details of the winner.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
We will send it right away, sir. And we will also send the individual marks of all the judges and the compilation.
And how we can see it all on YouTube.
We will also try to incorporate, to bring in more transparency. We will try to incorporate the individual marks given by the judges, and we will add it with this video, sir. So that is a very good suggestion.
Thank you.
Yeah, this YouTube video is always available for the viewers to see anytime they are free. So we'll add that part. Any other suggestion from your end, sir?
Not from me. There are 4 others, and I'm sure they've got lots to say.
Okay, thank you once again. So I think we have the national. Anyone wants to say something?
Thank you so much. It was a really great experience, and it was an honor to be part of such a well-conducted, well-managed event. Thank you once again.
Yeah, but we are little sorry for the last little delay because compiling marks from different 5 sources, it was getting little delayed. So we are sorry for that. So we'll have to look in for some alternative methodology to work out on that aspect. So we are sorry for that. But anyhow, we'll be sending you the marks to you personally also, and we'll display it on this YouTube channel also. That will do it.
Thank you.
Can I also add something?
Yes, Madam Georgia.
Okay. Having been relaxed now after giving away the marks, etc., I would like to say that we are all optimists now because the future is in good hands. These kids are really well prepared. to face the challenges that will be coming. Thank you very much for the honor.
Thank you. Thank you. It's national anthem.
I request all of you to stand in reverence for the national anthem.
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंग विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंग तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तब जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे